benefit of hour upon hour upon hour of practice, we're going to help you. This is my jewel of an assistant, Ruby, and she and I are going to give you cue cards to help you. For instance, there's the sweet, the innocent, the pure of heart. And at that time, everybody, oh. One more time. Oh, very good, very good. Then, there's the snooty. I am better than you. You're not fit to touch my toes. You can't carry my water. And then it's hiss. Oh, a little bit louder. I know it's a 4-letter word. It's a little harder. Hiss. Very good. Then it's in every story, at least good ones. There's the bad, the mean, the ugly, the hard, cruel heart. And at that moment, boo! Oh, y'all did that good. One more time. Boo! Good. And our story also has strong. Sweet, strong, the good, the person who has got courage and bravery, our hero. Yay! Very good. Now, every now and then, you'll see that little old country gal. She comes strolling across here all the way from Possum Hall. Now, at that time, this is what we got to do. That's good. Y'all did that good. Now, at the end of the play, behind those curtains, there's sticky, there's chocolate, there's sweet, sugar-free, melt in your mouth, melt in your hands, rub all over your face if you want to. And then you go, yum. Okay, y'all did very good. And remember, when you see somebody, me or Ruby, pop up over here, everybody just follow your sign. Thank you very much.
Oh, come now, my dear Mrs. Dalton. You must have had a special reason for inviting me over this evening. Out with it.
How clever you do. How clever you do. Say that, Anna. You know our minds are attuned.
Our minds are tuned perfectly. Why, it is my dearest wish to be exactly like you when I am your age.
And that is what I wish to discuss with you, Anna. You know you're not getting any younger.
What's that?
Oh, no offense intended, I assure you.
How could I ever be offended at someone who has always looked after my best interests? You have always been my dearest friend, my counselor, and my aid.
And why not? Wasn't your mother my dearest friend? Tell me, Anna, is the fortune she left you still intact?
Of course. Even if I tried, I could never spend all of the income, let alone dissipate the principal. If she but knew the truth, would she receive me here, I wonder?
No doubt you all went on asking you such vital questions.
Oh no, I'm quite used to your questioning.
Was that you say, Anna?
Oh, I mean, I'm quite used to your great interest in me, darling. Why, I would be quite put out if you weren't always asking me vital questions.
I might have known you'd understand an old woman's whims. For many years, Anna, I've dreamed of an alliance between you and my son, Jack.
Oh, Mrs. Dalton, the moment I've longed for is at hand.
Oh, my dear, you needn't be embarrassed. It's every woman's destiny to wed and be protected by the love of a strong man.
Quite so, quite so. And one could search the wide world over and never find a stronger, manlier specimen than your son, Jack Dalton.
Yes, Jack is all that. His Anna, and I'll let you in a little secret. When Jack was born, I determined not to have a weakling for a son. I made up my mind right then and there that Jack was to be a leader among men.
You then are responsible for his great strength? But how did you accomplish this?
You will guard my secret well?
Upon my honor, my dear Mrs. Dalton.
Then listen well. As soon as Jack was old enough, I started to feed him an onion every day. It became a habit he never discarded. An onion a day is a secret of Jack's great strength.
That's not exactly a secret, Mrs. Dalton.
But enough of all this small talk. Jack has reached a marriageable age without finding a mate for himself. So, in turn, I have picked you for him. This very night he shall propose to you, Anna darling.
If he does, my cup of happiness will be overflowing. Ever since we were young children, I have adored Jack with a love that is almost idolatry.
I have given Edward Van Horn of the illustrious Van Horn family permission to wed my daughter Eloise. It shall be a double wedding, dear. Eloise and Edward, you and Jack. And I promise you it'll be the most talked of event of the social season.
Oh, how dear you are to me, darling. Nothing could bring you more joy. Now you shall be my mother legally, and I will try never to dishonor the fair name of Dalton.
I have no fears as to that, Anna. You are in every way Jack's equal and will be a credit to us all. I wonder where Bertha is.
You mean your maid?
Yes, she's been acting in a strange manner of late. Many times I've caught her with a faraway look in her eyes.
Oh, in love with one of the footmen, no doubt.
I shall reprimand her severely. Oh, well, I'll deliver the message to Eloise myself. Will you amuse yourself in the music room until I return, Anna?
Oh, don't worry about me, darling. I can always find something to do in this lovely mansion.
Such grace, such beauty. One can tell that you're a real aristocrat, Anna dear. Truly you were born to be the wife of my illustrious son.
The old fool. So her Jack eats an onion a day, does he? I will soon break him of that odoriferous habit. She would not be so desirous of this union if she but knew that I am practically penniless. But never mind that. Once I am married to Jack Dalton, I will be the mistress of this mansion. And Mrs. Dalton can live in a small shack. Yes, one room should be plenty for that old busybody. I wonder if Jack has been foolish enough to leave any of the letters that I've written him lying about. I'm curious to know.
I beg your pardon, miss. Were you looking for something?
When I want your services, I will ring for you.
I'm sorry, miss, but Miss Dalton is very particular about her desk. She doesn't like to have her papers displayed.
Do you dare to question me? You, a common maid?
I'm a maid, that is true. But many a heart that beats beneath calico is more worthy of that than colored by silks and satins.
Oh.
I will report your insolence to Mrs. Dalton and have you discharged immediately, you impertinent minx.
As you wish. But if you do, I shall be forced to tell Miss Dalton that you were spying among her private papers.
I will not listen to this from someone like you. You just tell Jack that I am waiting for him in the music room as soon as he arrives.
Bertha, my darling.
Oh, Jack, you're home.
Has my fair beauty been crying? What has happened that caused you pain, my dearest?
No, nothing at all.
Those beautiful eyes should never be dimmed by teardrops, my Bertha.
Your mother, she mustn't hear you calling me pet names or all will be over between us.
In another day we shall tell our secret to the entire world, my darling.
I shudder to think of what Miss Dalton will say when she knows.
She will clasp you to her heart for my sake.
I'm not so certain, Jack.
Calm your fears, Bertha mine. And remember, I am here to protect you.
Jack, there's something that I've always wanted to tell you, but you would never listen.
I am not concerned with your past. The future is all that matters.
But I insist that you listen. I demand that you hear me.
Very well, but if you insist, but I warn you, it will make no difference in my feeling toward you.
Well, you see, it's a very sordid tale. I was born...
I don't see why.
What?
I was going to say, I don't see why you need to start way back that far.
Because, Jack, I want you to know everything. I was born of proud parents. My father was away on the time of my birth, and when he returned to our home, he took one look at me and dropped at the foot of my cradle, dead.
Oh, I say, did he die of shock?
No, of a heart attack. And my poor mother, she never did recover her health. She went to join Daddy shortly after, and I was left all alone with no mother to guide me.
Oh, my poor Bertha. Were you an only child?
No, I had a dear brother. We were very, very poor. Brother sold newspapers on the streets, and he was known as the ragged newspaper boy. As soon as I was able, I became a seamstress, and I was known as Bertha, the sewing machine girl.
That name sounds familiar.
As time went on, my brother prospered, and through a lucky trick of fate, he came into the possession of the golden giant mine, and suddenly we were transformed from rags to riches.
Yes, yes, go on.
That was when the evil serpent reared his ugly head. We had been happy in poverty, but as soon as wealth enveloped our lives, it brought us only misery and despair.
What do you mean?
Hector Harcourt, my brother's business partner, forced his affections upon me. I was so young, so innocent, and so trusting.
Yes, yes, go on. The suspense is killing me.
Hector Harcourt, arch villain and schemer, played upon my girl's affections until I did his bidding and gained my brother's signature to papers, which forfeited all rights to the Golden Giant mine and put Hector in complete control.
Yes, yes, and then?
Hector started to woo me with candy and flowers and other gifts so dear to every young girl's heart. As soon as he was satisfied that I was his willing dupe, he insisted that I meet him at midnight on the bridge and bring the papers with me.
The unprincipled hound.
Hector begged me to become engaged to him and say nothing to my brother. This I agreed to do.
Oh, Bertha, how could you?
Oh, Jack, I was of tender years. I was just so tender years. He begged me to become engaged to him and say nothing to Richard, and I knew nothing of what was going to happen. I did not know anything about his evil nature.
Was your brother kept in ignorance of Harcourt's dark deeds?
As time went on, I told my brother about Hector, and Hector showed my brother the papers proving that he had no right to the mine, and had my poor brother thrown off the property.
Hey, Gad, where's your brother now?
Oh, if I only knew. Hector disappeared, and my brother bade me farewell, swearing that he would never rest until he wreaked vengeance upon Hector and gained back possession of the mine.
Then I'm not the first man you have loved?
Oh, Jack, how would you utter such a thought? My feelings for Hector were but a spark. My feelings for you are rooted into my very soul.
Oh, Bertha, you are like a fair gem in a shoddy setting. But soon all that shall be changed. You have the face of a queen and were born with rule and command.
I'm a mere nobody, a maid in your mother's employ.
Not for long. Soon we shall acquaint my mother with the glorious tidings, and the entire world will drink in your fair beauty and worship at your shrine.
Come along, Ed. I'm sure Jack will be home soon now.
Oh, your mother, she mustn't find us together. She's bound to suspect.
Eloise is making herself ready for Edward's appearance.
As is the way with all lovers. He's been gone for 6 months now, has he not?
Just about. Jack, have you been home long? See, Anna's here with me.
Mater dear, you look lovely this evening. I know of only one other girl who could lay claim to such beauty as yours. Am I not right, Anna?
A pretty left-handed compliment, my devoted son. It would be very easy to guess who that one girl is.
It's impossible to keep secrets from you, Mater dear.
You better not try. Ring for Bertha like a dear fellow, Jack.
I wonder if Jack isn't keeping a secret from all of us, my dear Mrs. Dalton.
Why, what do you mean, Anna?
You ready, madam?
I most certainly did, Bertha. I shall want you to massage me this evening before I retire.
Very well, madam. When you're ready for me to begin, just ring for me.
I'd like a drink if you have time to bring it to me, girl.
Oh, very well. Would you like ginger ale or...
Just plain water will suffice.
Very well.
Strange. That maid seems to be guarding a secret of her own. Have you any idea what it could be, Jack?
No, of course not.
One could hardly expect my son to know anything about the workings of a servant's mind.
No, I suppose not. Still, you must admit that it's usually the unexpected that does happen, my dear Mrs. Dalton.
Well, since it's the butler's night off and the maid is busy, I'll answer the bell. Excuse me.
She's rather pretty in a cheap and common sort of way, don't you think?
Who's pretty Anna?
Bertha, your maid.
It's not a type of beauty that I admire.
Still, you must admit that there are some members of the opposite sex who might find her attractive.
No doubt, men of our own humble stations would offer their attentions.
You're right, miss.
How stupid of you! You almost spilled water on my gown. Put the glass on the table before you commit further injury.
I'm sorry.
I don't know how you can put up with such a clumsy maid, Mrs. Dalton. You should have a competent girl to serve you.
Egbert, Eloise is expecting. She'll be delighted to know that you have arrived.
Egbert, my dear boy, we've all been expecting you.
My dear Mother Dalton, more ravishing than ever. Why, I do believe that you have found the fountain of youth that was discovered by Ponce de Leon.
If she has, I wish she'd allow me the use of it.
I'm sure there'll be no need for that, Miss Alvarado. This climate seems to agree with you.
Especially the warmer weather. It brings out the Spanish in me.
I feel a bit of a fool in my casual attire. If I'd known we were having guests, I would have changed.
It's quite all right, old man. I'll be escorting Eloise to the Upter Downs reception this evening, hence my attire.
I don't know what's detaining Eloise. I'll go up and hurry her along.
One would wait years for just one glimpse of such rare beauty as that bestowed upon our fair Eloise, dear Mother Dalton.
You do say the prettiest things, Edward. No wonder Eloise has lost her heart to you.
No wonder indeed. All women love to hear honeyed speeches.
Most women are too busy making speeches to listen to them.
Make yourself comfortable, Egbert. Dear Eloise will be so excited when she hears you finally arrive.
Come and sit beside me, Jack. I haven't talked to you in ever so long.
I'm sorry, Anna, but I have some important papers to look over in my study. Egbert will be only too happy to entertain you, I'm certain.
He has been ignoring me for days.
Oh, sure. You only imagine it, I'm certain.
Don't you think my woman's intuition would tell me that I am correct? And even if it weren't for my intuition, I would know that his interests lie elsewhere, while for years I had hoped to be his wife.
Do you mean that Jack Dalton is in love at last, and with some other girl?
Just a moment ago, in this very room, I discovered him having a tete-a-tete with Mrs. Dalton's maid. It's obvious that she's trying to ensnare him for his money.
What's this you say?
Do you realize what this means to you? If Jack Dalton becomes embroiled in an affair with this common nobody, it will delay your marriage to Eloise.
Egad! Here's a pretty kettle of fish, I must say. And just at a time when I'm hard-pressed for ready cash.
But I had always thought you tremendously wealthy, Egbert.
As does the rest of the world, my dear Anna. Oh, I have a great many possessions, 'tis true. But I have lost a fortune in the stock market through unwise speculation. And unless I can get some money immediately, I am lost.
If Jack Dalton insists on marrying this common nobody, it will break my heart. Something must be done, and at once.
But what?
That maid has come like an accursed shadow between me and the one man in the world I have always loved. She must leave this house at once, and you must aid me.
I?
You are in need of cash, and I will pay you the sum of $1,000 if you succeed in luring the maid out of the house for the evening, on the pretext of taking her to the theater.
$1,000 to take a maid to the theater? It's not enough.
Make it $5,000 then. That should be of use to you for the time being.
And how is this to aid your suit with Dalton, Anna?
Well, once you have the maid out of the house, I will spread rumors about her, so that Mrs. Dalton will never allow her to set foot on these premises again. What do you say?
And what proof have I that you will keep your word and hand over the gold?
If you insist, I will put it in writing, in a note. I, Anna Alvarado, promise to pay Egbert Van Horn $5,000 in gold if he succeeds in ridding the house of the hateful presence of Mrs. Dalton's maid, Bertha, for this evening. Signed, Anna Alvarado. There. Are you satisfied?
'Tis well. Go and prevent the others from entering here, while I seek this maid and engage her in idle conversation.
Leave no stone unturned, Egbert. Once you have that maid out of the house, I will crush her, as I would a roach, and Jack Dalton will be mine at last.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was Miss Dalton who rang for me. Did you wish for something, sir?
Why,
That voice, that face, it can't be!
I've changed my mind. I don't wish for anything.
Hector
You may go.
Harcourt, my brother's betrayer.
What's this you say?
Oh, I know you in spite of the fact that you dyed your hair and added a mustache. The look of evil still stays with you.
Have a care how you address me, my girl, or it shall be much the worse for you.
Your threats leave me unmoved. Oh, how I could have ever imagined myself in love with such an unprincipled cad.
Egad, I am a mind to... Bertha, it is true that I may have been a trifle hasty in the old days, but all that has changed now. Wherever I have roamed, no matter where it was, the thought of your beauty has caused me to long for the day when we would meet again.
You took my poor heart and used it as a plaything. How do you suppose I could ever trust you again?
Bertha, if you would but give me the opportunity, I can explain everything. Tonight, I shall escort you to one of the leading theaters. After, we will sup and make merry. It will be like old times.
stand aside and let me pass.
Have you forgotten the night we pledged our troth on the old bridge down by the sawmill?
It is because I remember all too well the havoc that you caused in our lives, that I am no longer hypnotized by you.
Gad, you are more desirable than ever. Your beauty would grace the mansion of a king. Come with me, and we will discuss plans for our wedding.
Hector Harcourt, I would rather die 1,000 deaths, alone and friendless, than become your wife.
You shall live to regret those words, my proud beauty. Either you accompany me this evening as I desire, or I shall blacken your fair name so that it will be but a byword, and you will be shunned by honest people wherever you go.
You wouldn't dare.
Oh, I wouldn't, would I? You shall soon see. What if I were to go to Jack Dalton and tell him that you followed me here to blackmail me? Aha! That shot hit home, I see. I mean to have you, whether by fair means or foul. And if you do not leave here with me this evening, you will never look upon the face of the man you love again.
Do your worst, scoundrel. I defy you. Jack Dalton is a real man, and he would never believe evil of me.
Ha ha! You shall soon see. I will give you just 15 minutes in which to make up your mind.
My mind is made up, and I shall not change it. I would rather die 1,000 deaths alone and friendless than to do your bidding. You treacherous cur!
Shall I leave here at once, before she reveals my true identity? No, no. I must remain steadfast. One false step and I am lost, and to fail now would be madness.
Fate is playing into our hands. The fair Eloise has suffered an attack of vertigo and will be unable to accompany you to the reception this evening. Tell me, has the maid agreed to go with you?
The girl defies me openly.
You mean,
It seems she remembers me from the past. A harmless little prank I played on her, brother, and her, has turned her against me. Of course, I am blameless of all wrong, you see.
you mean she threatens to expose you?
Egad, she'll never live long enough to accomplish her purpose. What do you suggest? If she remains in this house, she will be the means of my downfall.
And of mine. Let me think.
Your woman's mind should be able to devise some plan that would bring about Bertha Blair's ruin.
We could... I have it. The very thing.
What is that? Poison? Oh, no, Anna. Anything but murder.
This is not poison. I haven't been sleeping well of late, and the doctor has given me this sleeping potion. It works quickly, as if by opium magic.
But
Don't you see? Since the girl will not accompany us willingly, we must use other means. I will put a large dose of the sleeping potion in this water. And you must see that she drinks it.
and then?
You must spread rumors that Bertha Blair is insane. I will have an attendant from the asylum call for her this very evening.
Splendid, my dear Anna. I couldn't have thought of a better plan myself. But wouldn't an attendant or physician wish to examine her before they would admit her to an asylum?
Well, a real attendant or physician would. But the person who calls for Bertha Blair will be none other than Jackson, my butler.
Egad, that's clever. Deuced clever. But is the man to be trusted, Anna?
Well, he's only been in my employ for a week, but he will be well paid for this night's work. Once that girl is out of the house and in our power, I will know what to do with her.
Say better that we will know. She will never cross my path again. Never.
I must steal around the corner to prepare Jackson for the job. Mrs. Dalton will remain upstairs with Eloise. You must see Jack and plant the doubt of Bertha in his mind.
Just leave everything to me.
You just see that she drinks that water. It will make her easier to handle. Come between me and the man I love, will she? Little does she know that soon she will be in my power, you silly fool.
Ah, my proud beauty. Have you come to tell me that you've reconsidered my offer and are eager to join me for a frolic this evening?
I've already given you my answer, sir. Now allow me to pass.
You are making a grave mistake, my girl, one that you will live to regret. Suppose I were to go to Mrs. Dalton and tell her that you have designs on her son Jack.
Tell her what you want, whenever you want. I am willing to leave here tonight and boast to the world of my love for Jack Dalton.
He shall never have you. Never! Before this night is through, you will be far away from here, never to look upon the face of the man you love again.
Let go of me!
Think, girl, think! Your entire future rests upon your decision.
Let go of my wrist, do you hear?
If you don't leave here with me this evening, as I desire, you will never look upon the face of the man you love again, and your life will be one long torture.
My wrist, you're hurting me. Let go!
Nothing can save you now.
Nothing shall save you, you black-hearted scoundrel.
Oh, Jack, you arrived in the nick of time. This car was insisting that I spend the evening with him, and when I refused his advances, he threatened to blacken my fair name.
A likely story. What would a man of my social standing have to do with a common serving maid?
One more word from you, and I'll not answer for the consequences. Leave the room, darling, while I deal with this scoundrel in private.
Oh, don't hurt him bad, Jack. I beg of you.
Do as I tell you. He shall pay dearly for this night's work.
Very clever of you, I'm sure, Jack. I'm grateful to you for getting rid of that pest of a girl so easily.
And what do you mean by that remark, Van Horn?
For some unaccountable reason, she took a strange fancy to me at sight, although I hastened to assure her of my lack of interest.
That is a lie. I saw you begging, nay, pleading with her to fly with you.
Why, you know how these things are, Jack. I was startled when she began to work her woman's wiles on me, and I admit that for a moment I lost my head. I understand that you too have been paying attention to this maid.
Only in a far different way from you. I have offered her the true love of a strong man.
Oh, I know that trick well, Jack. I've used it often enough myself. But of course you aren't serious about this matter. Think what your mother would say.
I have thought. My life is my own. Do with as I please.
But surely you wouldn't disgrace the Dalton name by throwing yourself on some penniless little upstart.
Enough. One more word from you, and I'll force you to beg Bertha's pardon on your bended knee.
Upon my word, Jack, I'm beginning to think you are serious.
I've never been so serious about anything in all my life. I'd advise you to procure your hat and leave this house at once, never to darken these doors again.
Yay!
But what of my engagement to your sister Eloise?
Ha! You don't think I'd allow my innocent little sister to marry a scoundrel like you? Not while I have the power to prevent it.
Come now, Jack. Enough of this idle banter. I'll make a bargain with you. If you'll agree to forget the little scene that just transpired between the maid and myself, I'll say nothing to your mother about your affair with Bertha. So what do you say, Jack? Is it a bargain? What is your answer?
to you never to speak to Bertha again as long as you live.
Curse you, Jack Dalton. You will pay dearly for this insult.
Save your threats. They fall on empty ears. If you should be foolish enough to cross my path again, I shall crush you like the snake you are. Now be gone before I lose my temper and forget that you're supposed to be a man.
I've always hated you from the first moment I encountered you. You think you can crush me, do you? You shall soon see. Remember, Jack, this is war to the finish. And before I'm through with you, you'll wish you had never incurred my enmity. Have a care, Jack Dalton. The game is just starting. We shall see who will be the victor. Shut your mouths, all of you! Stop your laughing.
Oh, Jack, thank God you're safe. I was afraid he might hurt you.
Hurt me, that black-hearted scoundrel.
Jack, there's not a moment to be lost. We must warn your mother and sister that man is not Egbert Van Horn.
What's this you say?
I tell you, I know of what I speak. That man is not Egbert Van Horn. He is Hector Harcourt. He stole my brother's golden giant mine. He's sailing under false colors.
Sailing where?
Oh, don't you understand? He's pretending to be someone else in order to ensnare your sister Eloise. As soon as he has her fortune, he will desert her for another.
I cannot expose this rascal without some further proof.
You can only go to your mother and tell her everything.
Be brave, my sweet. Remember, nothing will ever part us. That I promise you.
You don't know Hector Harcourt's either. There's no telling what he's plotting against us at this very moment.
Whatever his little game is, I'll block it, and have no fear of that. I need to go into my study and think of what is best to be done. Courage, Bertha. Remember, we have each other.
Yes, Jack.
Oh, Jack! Why haven't you joined the others? I was just around at my house giving some instructions to the servants.
I hope you're enjoying yourself, Anna.
Well, I would be if only you were by my side. Why have you been avoiding me of late, Jack?
I've had a great many things on my mind, Anna.
Yes, I can see how that would be a strain. Will you be able to have lunch with me tomorrow?
I'm afraid not. I'm going to be busy all day tomorrow. If you'll excuse me, I have some important business to take care of.
He treats me as though I'm less to him than a stranger. Once that maid is out of this house, he'll change his tune and sing a different song.
Is the coast clear, miss?
So far, so good. Fortunately, I remembered to leave the door unlatched so that we could gain entry without having to ring the bell. Now, are you certain you remember your instructions, Jackson?
Oh, yes, miss. I am to tell the maid that Mr. Dalton would like for her to join him on the outside to go for a drive. There, I am to detain her until you join me.
And then she will be shunted into the asylum, never to leave it alive. I see that Egbert has let her out of the water. She will be very easy to handle, Jackson. Now, I will wait in the music room until I hear your signal. You remember, follow my instructions to the letter, and you won't be sorry.
Ready for your massage, Mrs. Dalton?
Bertha, my own dear sister, what are you doing here?
Richard, at last I found you!
You? You're the maid here at the Daltons?
Yes, I searched for you forever. And I was all alone in this big city with no funds. So this was the only position that I could secure, so I was literally forced to accept it.
Fate has sent me here. Fate has sent me here, my dearest Bertha. You have enemies who are plotting your downfall.
What?
For years I've been tracking Hector Harcourt, and just as success seemed within my grasp, the villain eluded me.
You were never able to find him at the Golden Giant Mine?
No, he never appeared there. He had others operate the mine for him while he absorbed the profits. But as of late, the mine hasn't worked, and it's fallen into a state of decay.
You mean it's no longer valuable?
Oh no, it's much more valuable than ever. It's just going to take some cash to get it started again.
Richard, I am certain that if you could only get in possession of that mine, that I could come up with significant funds to help get it started again.
You? But how?
That's my little secret. Now, what do you mean by I have enemies?
Well, Hector Harcourt's trail led me to the house of one Anna Alvarado, and I became her butler there, so I could be on the scene to expose Harcourt at the proper time. Now tonight, this Alvarado woman offered me a huge sum of money to spirit you outside this house. It is her plan to bribe the head of an insane asylum, have you imprisoned there, and she is to be aided in this plan by a man named Egbert Van Horn.
Who is no other than Hector Harcourt. Oh, you'll know him the moment you see him. The look of evil still stays with him.
Where is the scoundrel? At last I shall have my revenge.
Not so fast, Richard. We must outwit our enemies with the greatest of care.
Oh, how could they plan to do such an unscrupulous thing to my own dear sister?
Little do they know that their plot against me shall be their own undoing. Oh, Richard, how I have longed for you so often.
Just as we have longed for you, my dearest Bertha.
We? What do you mean by that?
Well, you see, 2 years ago, I married the dearest girl in the world. And a year later, we were blessed with the birth of a little baby girl that we named after you, sis. Won't Agnes be delighted when she finds out I finally found you?
Agnes is your wife?
Yes. I haven't been able to have my family here with me. They're staying out west with Agnes's mother until I can bring them here. You should see little Bertha. Oh, they say that she's the very image of me.
Oh, poor thing.
How's that?
Oh, I mean, you know, to be separated from her daddy and all. Oh, Richard, how I have always longed to have a baby's arms around my neck. And now, thanks to you, that wish is coming true.
My dearest Bertha, more beautiful than ever. We must never be parted again.
Hurry, Richard. We are forgetting our enemies in this joyous meeting. There is an umbrella closet in the hallway. You must hide in it.
Bertha, I can't fold up like an umbrella.
Oh, Richard, it's big enough for you to fit in. At the proper moment, I shall call for you. Then, whenever you hear that signal, I want you and me to go and unveil these villains for the true villains that they are.
And now, to thwart Hector Harcourt and win back the Golden Giant Mine.
It is I, son. Let me in. I must see you at once.
Are you certain that you are entirely recovered from your recent indisposition, my flower?
Oh, yes, Egbert. The joy of seeing you again has chased my illness away. I never thought I'd have a beau like you. Never.
My precious jewel. Why, the moment that I saw you, I was sunk.
Oh, Egbert, how you do go on.
Say, Eloise, is your heart set on going to this stupid reception this evening?
Well, I kind of enjoyed going with you, Egbert, just to show the other girls that I was able to capture Beau, even though they always said I never would.
Those silly creatures. Why, I'm sure not one of them can hold a candle to you, your beauty. Whenever I look into your eyes, I get the funniest sensation in my heart.
I feel exactly the same way when I look at your mustache, Egbert. I've always craved a man who wore a mustache.
Well, since we both feel the same way, why should we postpone our wedding any longer? My beautiful princess.
Princess? Oh, Egbert, that's the very first time you've ever called me that.
Well, I've plenty more names in reserve to call you after we're married. Now listen well, Eloise. Why should we wait and go through the annoyance of a church wedding?
What do you mean, Eggie?
Why not elope with me tonight? Your mother has given her consent to our marriage, so why should we tarry?
You mean be married this evening?
Of course, there's no reason why we shouldn't be, is there? The sight of your beauty sets me aflame, and I can hardly wait till the day I can clasp you to my bosom and call you my wife. Will you make me the happiest man on earth and come away with me now?
I never met a man who was so impatient. I couldn't be married without my cloak, Egbert.
Well, good. Then run and get it. And a small overnight bag. I'll be waiting for you in the music room. I have the license and the ring. And we can steal away and be married just as soon as we find a minister.
Oh, Egbert, you do think of the most romantic things. Won't this be fun? All of the other girls will be green with envy. I'll do it.
Good. Now, hurry and pack your bags. I'll be in the music room. Well, hurry! My precious pearl.
Oh, I'll only be a few moments. I need to leave a note for Mother on the pincushion. Oh, isn't this just too thrilling?
Once she is my wife, the Dalton fortune shall be mine to do with as I please. Curse you, Jack Dalton. I still hold the winning card. Quiet, I told all of you! Shut your mouths or get out of here! You'll all incur my enmity before this night is over.
I tell you, the girl has a husband and a baby, Jack. I shall discharge her instantly.
But Mother, you...
Not another word. When I engaged her, she told me she was single. I'd never be able to trust her again.
Mother has something to say to you, Bertha.
Why did you tell me you were single when you applied for a position here, Bertha?
Why, whatever you mean, Mrs. Dalton.
You know very well what I mean. This thing has gone far enough. Do you deny that you're a married woman with a baby?
A baby? Oh, there must be some mistake.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Mrs. Dalton.
Not at all, Anna. Sit down, do. It seems that your suspicions of my maid were warranted after all. Come in, Edward. You're soon to be one of the family. We have no secrets from you, my dear boy.
Well, I'm waiting for Eloise to be down any moment now, so I'll just wait over here.
I overheard you talking with the man whom you call Richard. Do you deny that he's your husband?
My husband? Oh, no, that man is not my husband.
Not your husband? Then who is he?
Well, I can't tell you right now, but if you only give me just a little time, I promise I'll explain everything.
A likely story. I don't believe a word of it. Pack your things and leave my house at once, you deceitful girl.
Stop, Mother. I cannot allow you to speak to my wife in such a manner.
Your wife?
That's right. We were married in the church around the corner just the other day.
Then I shall take steps immediately to have this marriage set aside. You shall be a wife in name only.
I'll not allow it. I love Bertha, and shall always respect her as my legally wedded wife.
My son, married to a penniless nobody. This disgrace will kill me. Leave this house at once. Do you hear? At once.
If she goes, I go with her.
Yay! Think well before you defy me, my son. If you leave this house with this girl, I shall stop your allowance and you shall never have another penny of the Dalton fortune.
What care I for wealth? The world is wide, and I shall work to support myself and my wife. Come, Bertha.
Jack, never allow such a sacrifice. One day, you would long for this gay world and all your friends in it, and you would grow to hate me.
Of course he would. Finally, someone seeing reason.
Are you a mother? Can you stand by and have your own son's heart broken just to satisfy your own social ambitions? Woman, a very tigress is more tender to its young.
How dare you criticize me, a mere servant? Enough of this. I insist you leave here without delay.
Come, Bertha, we're wasting time here.
Jack, you cannot leave me.
I'm sorry, Mother, but you leave me with little alternative. I love Bertha. My place is by her side.
Mother! There's a strange man out in the hall with a revolver, and he's pointing it directly at Egbert.
Stick him up! Stick him up on a stand and get back in there. Not so fast. No funny business now. My finger's so anxious on this trigger, it's all I can do to control it. Now move. Keep walking. No lollygagging now.
Jackson, how dare you molest Mr. Van Horn?
My name isn't Jackson any more than this man's name is Van Horn. He's Hector Harcourt, the man who stole the golden giant mine from me.
I don't know what this fool is talking about. I've never seen him before in my life.
That's the man that was talking to Bertha in this room only a few minutes ago.
Oh,
Move.
oh, Jack, that man is my brother, Richard. Your mother must have overheard him talking to me about his baby, little Bertha, named after me.
Right. And right now I'm going to prove that this fiend is the scoundrel that I say he is. Hold those hands high. And don't stir.
If he reads that paper, the game is up.
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't try to implicate me in your crooked schemes.
Mrs. Dalton, I think you should read this paper.
I, Anna Alvarado, promise to pay Egbert Van Horn $5,000 in gold if he succeeds in ridding the house of the hateful presence of Mrs. Dalton's maid Bertha for this evening. You wrote this and signed it. What's the meaning of this?
He made me do it. He has been blackmailing me for months.
That's a lie. She was determined to put Bertha Blair in the insane asylum so that she could marry Jack Dalton and get the fortune all to herself.
I have never been so insulted in all my life. Let me out of here.
Not so fast, mister. Get back in here. I'm going to turn you both over to the law.
Curses. The game is up.
Now, outside, both of you. You're not fit for decent people to hang around with. But before I'm through with you, I want those papers.
What papers?
The papers that I signed, giving you possession of the golden giant mine.
You needn't worry about that, Blair. I'll prosecute this man and see that your mine is restored to you.
Curse you, Jack Dalton. If it weren't for your meddling interference,
Why, you can tell your troubles to the judge. Start walking. Now.
It's just to think, I almost married that scoundrel.
I feared from the first he was an imposter.
I never want to look at another man as long as I live.
There, Eloise, dear. I don't think you'll have to worry on that score. I'll never repay you for saving all of us from disgrace and ruin.
By giving Jack me your blessing and accepting me as a daughter.
It's little enough, I'm sure. Bless you, my children, and may you both be as happy as you deserve. Come, Eloise, dear. All this excitement has been too much for you.
really mean what you said when you promised to get my brother's wine back.
Do anything you wish, Bertha. But can't you forget about Richard for just a moment and spare me a thought?
If I ever think of anything else, I shall spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of you.
And I shall spend mine helping you forget the past and creating a glorious future for us.
Oh, my Jack.
My queen.
My mistake. Thank you very much. Right now we're going to get the desserts prepared, so please hang tight. We're going to turn the house lights up, and we'll let you know when the desserts are ready. Thank you.
Rebecca played a wonderful